Okay. I call this meeting of the Pinellas County School Board, October 25th, 2022, to order. This evening's invocation will be given by Pastor Ben Stillwell Hernandez from Aldersgate United Methodist Church in Seminole. The invocation will be followed by the presentation of colors by the Pinellas Park High School Coast Guard, JROTC, under the direction of Master Chief Michael Collis. The Pledge of Allegiance, led by Vice Chair Lisa Kane, and the National Anthem, sung by the Pinellas Park High School's Capella Group, Showtime, under the direction of Helen Twinham. So with that, please stand. And Pastor Stillwell, would you please share your invocation with us?
Please pray with me. Gracious God, we are humbled that you give us the opportunity to be a community that supports and challenges, encourages, and helps our children. We ask for wisdom for those who have been selected and elected to lead in this important endeavor. We ask for our community that we may find unity of purpose, to make sure that every child in our community is given the opportunity to succeed academically, professionally, and personally. We are thankful that you have empowered us to help each other. May we be found desiring to do your very best. It's in your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Okay, please be seated. Mrs. Twinham will introduce the second song.
Good afternoon. Our second piece will be Will the Circle Be Unbroken? It's a traditional Appalachian piece arranged by J. David Moore, featuring soloist Valeria Cadena.
the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by. There's a better home awaiting if we try, Lord, if we try.
The circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by. There's a better home awaiting if we try, Lord, if we try. I was singing with my sister. I was singing with my friends, and we all can sing together. 'Cause the circle never ends. Oh, will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better home awaiting if we try, Lord, if we try. I was born down in the valley where the sun used to shine. But I'm climbing to the highland, gonna make mountain mine. Oh, will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by. There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky. In the sky, Lord. In the sky.
That was wonderful. Thank you, Mrs. Twinham and this chorus. That was just beautiful. Thank you. And I also want to thank the Color Guard for being here tonight as well. All right, now I'd like to introduce tonight's video. Each year we select one principal and one assistant principal of the year. These are administrators who exemplify leadership, dedication, commitment, and compassion, and a drive to make their schools the best in the nation. We are so fortunate to have many outstanding administrators, but let's meet the two who rose to the top of this year.
Mr. Schmidtdeal, can you come up front, please? It's my pleasure to be here today with you to announce that the 2022-23 Pinellas County Schools Assistant Principal of the Year is your own, Mr. Schmidtdeal.
He works individually with you to make sure that you're reaching graduation requirements. And you know what? Just everything that he does every day encompasses what we stand for in Pinellas County Schools and here at Osceola Fundamental High School.
I really appreciate it. Yeah, I absolutely love what I do, and guys, you definitely are the reason I come to school every day and enjoy everything about it.
1, 2, 3.
Dr. Wilson, can you come down the red carpet? I have a very, very important announcement on behalf of our Pinellas County School Board and as the Superintendent of Schools to announce to you that the 2022-23 Pinellas County Schools Principal of the Year is Dr. Wilson.
Humbling, amazing, an honor, and you know what? It's not me as the principal. It's every single person in this room. We have amazing kids, amazing teachers. Y'all make me look good, staff. So thank you.
Congratulations to Principal Wilson and Assistant Principal Schmidt-Deal. And I know they are both deserving of this recognition. Mr. Schmidt-Deal just became a dad. His wife is also an assistant principal, so a congratulations on that as well. All right, tonight, our Director of Strategic Communications, Beth Harradine, will introduce our professional and community organizations.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, Superintendent Hendrick, and staff. It is my pleasure to introduce the following representatives of community and professional organizations. Tonight we have with us from the Pinellas Classroom Teachers Association, Nancy Velarde, President. From the Pinellas Educational Support Professionals Association, or PESPA, Nellie Henez, President. And from the Pinellas Arts for a Complete Education Coalition, Maria Cantone. We have no members of the media with us this evening, but we do have folks from the Student Rights and Responsibility Committee from Pinellas Park High School. Please help me welcome Seth Mizuko, Jalen Patterson, Tristan Zabala, and they are joined by their principal, Brett Patterson.
Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Gonzalez for inviting Pinellas Park High School to this meeting today, as well as Madam Chair, members of the board, and most importantly, Mr. Hendricks for their dedication to Pinellas County Schools. I think all the representatives can agree that being here is really nerve-wracking, and we appreciate your support through this process. As far as introductions, my name is Seth Mizuko, and I am a senior representative at Pinellas Park High School. And although I did join Pinellas Park High School in my junior year, I would like to make note that the quality of education I have received is truly a step up from my previous high school, and all of my scores have increased. Wow, okay. Furthermore, I would like to attend USF St. Petersburg to get my undergraduate degree in biomedical sciences, where I'll then get my graduate degree at Cornell University in oral jaw surgery. As well as being a Student Rights and Responsibilities representative, I'm also the president of 5 clubs at Pinellas Park High School, my most notable being Student Government Executive Board and National Honor Society. And by the end of my education at Pinellas Park High School, I've taken a total of 15 AP and/or dual enrollment classes while maintaining a part-time job at public supermarkets. And I'm truly grateful for all the support that my teachers have given me, especially with my ambitious goals and the dedication they have to their students. It's without a doubt Pinellas Park's most notable feature, and it's really what makes us the Patriots. So I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board, and Mr. Hendrick. Good afternoon. My name is Tristan Zabala. I'm a representative for Pinellas Park High School, enrolled in the Criminal Justice Program and Coast Guard JROTC. While at Pinellas Park High School, I have many achievements, and these are shown through my involvement in Coast Guard JROTC as a unit executive officer and representation of 3 clubs in which I'm the vice president. Most importantly, the senior board student government. From the start of my freshman year, I've known that the education offered by Pinellas Park High School is superb. The Criminal Justice Academy has been able to show me the many aspects of how lawmaking, policing, and crime scene investigatory bodies work in relation to the outside world, and how many agencies work together to achieve the same goals of justice. Moreover, my school's Coast Guard JROTC program has allowed me to advance to a position of high leadership, which has allowed me to improve my skills as a leader and as a mentor for others to follow. This program has allowed me to propel my future career in the United States Coast Guard and give me necessary skills that will last a lifetime. I would also like to mention how the faculty at Pinellas Park High School has played a big part in my education and future career, and the immense dedication of our staff has proved that fact. Teachers and guidance counselors have always have students try their hardest and never let a student fall behind, because the success of a student is what comes first. I could say that many teachers and other faculty members are my friends, and it's something I would have never thought of before my time at this school. I'm proud to say that due to the education, programs, and faculty of my high school, I have been given great opportunities for a great future. I'm proud to call myself a Pinellas Park Patriot. My plans after high school is to attend the United States Coast Guard Academy to become a commissioned officer, and I plan on pursuing an undergraduate degree in electrical engineering. My experience at Pinellas Park High School has been extraordinary, and my long-term goals and aspirations in life could not have been thought of if it wasn't for this great school. Thank you all so much for your time.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jalen Patterson, and I'm a student at Pinellas Park High School. Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board, Mr. Hendrick, and staff, for allowing us to be here and for our voices to be heard. My time at Pinellas Park High School has been nothing but positive. All of my teachers and administrators have been wonderful and supportive, and when unfortunate events do occur, they're extremely patient and cooperative with me and all other students. Since freshman year, I've been representing the school through volunteer events, program fairs, and taking action inside of our classrooms. Because of the medical knowledge I've learned throughout my classes, I've been able to protect myself and others around me. My ultimate dream is to become a paramedic by attending St. Petersburg College for both my EMT and paramedic certification. However, through my program, I have been given the opportunity to have my EMT night school paid for by Sunstar next semester, with an EMT position following that graduation. It is an opportunity I am ecstatic to work towards, one that was only possible through attending Pinellas Park High School. My experience here has been wonderful, and I'm beyond happy to be representing my school. Thank you all for your time and dedication to our schools. Thank you again, Madam Chair, members of the board, Mr. Hendrick, and staff, for allowing us to represent our school. We look forward to working with you all towards the betterment of our Pinellas County schools. Thank you.
What an excellent presentation. Thank you so much. And thank you to Pinellas Park High School, Brett Patterson, for joining us this evening. Great job. All right, now, Mr. Hendrick, are there any recommended changes to the agenda?
Madam Chair, there are no amendments to the agenda this evening.
Okay. All right, so therefore, I need a motion and a second to adopt the agenda. Do I have a motion? Mr. Dudley? Do I have a second? Ms. Kane? All right. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Passes 7-0. Okay. Now, special order agenda. The first one, 4.1, presentation of proclamation dedicating October 31st through November 4th as Gifted and Talented Awareness Week. I need a motion.
Move approval.
Ms. Hine, and a second. Ms. Edmond, all right. Let's turn it over to Mr. Hendrick, and he will introduce.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I hope everyone got to see those posters as they came in, honoring Gifted and Talented Awareness Week. Those are the product of our gifted specialists, Ms. Coral Marsh. Ms. Marsh?
Thank you. Madam Chairperson, board members, Mr. Hendrick, and staff, we are excited to bring you tonight our third proclamation for Gifted and Talented Education Awareness Week in Pinellas County. In the hall and on the screen, you will see a few student-created advocacy posters from last year's celebration. Under your leadership, our Gifted and Talented program continues to grow and transform. Today, we are currently serving over 11,000 learners identified as gifted in kindergarten through 12th grade, and an additional 4,000 talented learners in elementary school. We also have around 200 gifted teachers providing those services. The growth we have seen in the last few years is a direct reflection of the initiatives the leader in this room and the others before them have supported. Here are just a few we should be extra proud of. In the past year, we screened over 7,000 students for gifted. We doubled the number of students in our talent program. We hosted Camp Invention this summer to provide enrichment for 900 students. And we completed year 3 of our 5-year Javits Gifted Education Grant Award, much of which centers around supporting teachers to best meet the needs of their gifted learners. These initiatives matter. Through both access and support, gifted and talented learners are being served in powerful ways. Thank you, on behalf of our gifted and talented students and educators, for taking this time to celebrate and bring awareness to the dynamic gifted and talented programs in our district.
Sign.
Gifted and Talented Education Awareness Week, October 31 to November 4, 2022. Whereas during Gifted and Talented Education Awareness Week, the district will focus on better understanding gifted and talented education, learners, educators, and advocacy. And whereas during this 1 week period, may we celebrate continued commitment to dynamic gifted education within our district, take time to reflect on how we identify gifted students to provide all with opportunities for an equitable education, and recognize the continued impact that gifted and talented education has had in our community. And whereas the goals of gifted and talented education are captured in the National Association of Gifted Children's campaign called Giftedness Knows No Boundaries, which recognizes 4 goals in the identification and support of gifted children. And whereas this effort will bring awareness to our schools, community, and around the country of our commitment to the identification, needs, and growth of our gifted and talented learners. Now, therefore, the School Board of Pinellas County hereby proclaims Gifted and Talented Education Awareness Week during the week of October 31 to November 4, 2022, signed this 25th day of October, 2022.
Any board comments? Excuse me. All right. All those in favor of the proclamation designating October 31st through November 4th as Gifted and Talented Awareness Week, say aye. Aye. Passes 7-0. All right. All right, the next presentation of proclamation recognizing Lights On After School Day on October 20th, 2022. I need a motion. Ms. Kane, and I need a second. Ms. Edmond. All right. Mr. Hendrick, would you like to introduce this, please?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair, and I want to thank those in the audience who are here in support of this tonight, and I want to call Dr. Marilyn Petit-Bois, our Title I specialist, to tell us more about this proclamation.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, Superintendent Hendrick, and staff. Launched in October 2000, Lights On After School is a national event celebrating after-school programs and the important roles they play in the lives of children, families, and communities. The effort has become a hallmark of the after-school movement. On Thursday, October 20th, the 23rd annual Lights On After School program highlighted the remarkable work being done by scholars who attend these programs. In Pinellas County, we are very proud of our scholars and their after-school options. Our district is committed to ensuring our students have access to quality extended learning opportunities. As a district, we believe learning does not need to stop when the school day ends. So our scholars are participating in small group tutoring, online digital learning, and a variety of enrichment activities, including Battle of the Books, Girls on the Run, coding, and STEM programs before and after school. Pinellas County has continued strong partnerships in support of after-school programs in a collaboration with multiple organizations. Today provides us with the perfect opportunity to recognize and thank our partners. Present with us today are Amanda Anderson and Megan Sills, representing Juvenile Welfare Board, Judy Patrick, Director of Program Services, R Club, Barbara Witt, Executive Director of Youth Development, YMCA St. Pete, Scott Goyer, President CEO of YMCA Suncoast, and finally Jocelyn Broadhead, Recreation Superintendent for the City of Dunedin. In preparing some highlights of our extended learning programs and looking at the faces of our scholars engaged in various programs across our county, I am reminded of the Williamson poem that there are indeed shining lights within each and every one of our scholars. After-school programs serve to extend and liven those lights, allowing students to make real-world connections with the knowledge and theory learned during the day. This past Thursday, organizations and programs across this county and nation joined in celebrating Lights On After School. We acknowledged the achievement of our scholars and announced our continued commitment to extended learning programs. So let's continue to keep our lights on and our doors open to filling our scholars' heads and spirits with the brightest lights so that they too can share that light, which will automatically liberate others to shine bright. Thank you.
Ms. Kane? Read the proclamation.
Thank you so much. It's a proclamation of Lights On After School, whereas the Pinellas County School Board stands firmly committed to quality after-school programs and opportunities because they provide safe, challenging, engaging, and fun learning experiences to help children and youth develop their social, emotional, physical, cultural, and academic skills. Support working families by ensuring their children are safe and productive after the regular school day ends. They build stronger communities by involving our students, parents, business leaders, and adult volunteers in the lives of our young people, thereby promoting positive relationships among children, youth, families, and adults. And whereas all of our community after-school programs provide significant leadership in the area of community involvement in education and well-being of our youth, grounded in the principle that quality after-school programs are key to helping our children become successful adults. Whereas nearly 25 million families report they would enroll their child in an after-school program if one were available, and whereas many after-school programs across the country are facing operating challenges so severe that they're being forced to consider closing their doors and turning off their lights. Now, therefore, we, the Pinellas County School Board, do hereby enthusiastically endorse Lights On After School, the national celebration of after-school programs held this year on October 20th, 2022.
Any board comments? Dr. Carr, you had your...
Thank you. I just want to thank our community partners for this ongoing work and providing our students with so many great opportunities after school. As a former latchkey kid myself and a working mom, having the opportunity to have my children participate in after-school programs in our district has been a gift. So thank you very much. Appreciate you providing them with quality care and continuing the growth and learning opportunities in your organizations. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? All right. All in favor of the proclamation recognizing Lights On After School Day on October 20th, 2022, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Passes 7-0. Thank you. All right, this next one is really special. It's recognition of various 2021-22 awards for the school police department. So at this time, I'm going to ask the board to please go down, and Mr. Hendricks will introduce this one.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I would like to call Chief Luke Williams, our Chief of Schools Police, to the podium. And we have a number of recognitions that we're going to honor tonight. And he's going to do them one at a time. And as he does it, the individual being recognized, if you'll please come up and stand next to Chief, and then we're going to have a picture of you with our school board at the conclusion of his presentation of each of the awards. So the first award this evening is a Lifetime Achievement Award by the Florida Association of School Resource Officers. Chief?
All right. Thank you, Mr. Hendrick. Madam Chair, board, members of the audience, and those who are watching us on television, it is with great pleasure that I stand before you all to recognize several people. The following recognitions highlight many, if not all, of the district's core values. These award recipients are emblematic of our values of building respect and caring relationships, being responsible, and having connectiveness with our children in our community, and having an unwavering commitment to the children and families. Today, we're acknowledging the most deserving individuals during the last school term, 2021 through 2022, with the following awards. The first is the Florida Association of School Resource Officers FASRO Lifetime Achievement Award, the School Resource Officer / Deputy of the Year Award, the School Safety Officer / Guardian of the Year Award, a recognition of Mr. Jesse Dorsey, a recognition of the inaugural Jesse Dorsey Campus Activity Monitor of the Year Award, and recognizing one of our valued employees who will be retiring at the end of this particular meeting. So with that, a Lifetime Achievement Award recipient, Barbara Barger, could you please come forward? Barbara is the 2021-2022 recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award presented by the Florida Association of School Resource Officers, or FASRO, for her 34 years of service to the students and staff of the Pinellas County School District. Barbara is the longest serving member of the Pinellas County Schools Police Department after being hired on September 7th of 1988. That's a long time. Congratulations. And Barbara brought out some people with her, and I can tell you that we have retired Chief Stelgis, we have Sergeant Roseberry, we have Bill Gabler, and I see Chris Ladd and Mr. Ward. So there's she's bringing out some of the old school people with her today. She has assisted the district for many years as a K-9 handler, having worked with many partners over this time span. Her current partner, Dobies, has continued the tradition of being the perfect teammate to Officer Barger in her role of ridding our campuses of illegal substances. but more importantly, engaging and connecting with our students on a level that only Barbara and her K-9 partner can do. Barbara has always made it her goal to engage with the whole community, not just the school community. In a caring and respectful manner, Barbara can be counted on to be present at crime runs, backpack giveaways, and many other events at a moment's notice. During her 34 years, it has been evident that Barbara's commitment to our children and the Pinellas County School District is one which should be emulated. Because of her examples, it gives me great pleasure to also recognize her, not only for her longevity, but for her unwavering dedication to our students and the citizens of Pinellas County. And with that, I would like to give you the certificate of achievement that's been signed by the superintendent, and we want to thank you for your 34 years, and I'm sure we have more coming. But congratulations. All right. All right. Thank you so much, Barbara. I think you had something you wanted to say.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Chief. I am honored and privileged to be working as a school resource officer for Pinellas County Schools. Chief, Major Johnson in the room, my supervisors in the back. We have a great team. And I will tell you this award, yes, I'm privileged to be accepting the award, but the award is our department award, honestly, because to attain a Lifetime Achievement Award, it takes a team. The team that we have currently, the team that we had a number of years ago. So I've been doing this a long time. And you know what I said at FASRO, the Florida Association of School Resource Officers Conference? I said, I'm doing my job. So yes, I'm being recognized, but this is what I love to do. We heard our assistant principal say that. We heard Dr. Wilson say, you know what? Thank you so much, but staff, thank you. I get this award because of you and all of what you do to make me look good. So I'm going to take on those. And so, Chief, thank you so much. I really, really am honored and privileged to be able to do the job that I love to do. And I thank my family. My two daughters are here today because, you know, when you do this job, you take it home sometimes. And all of us in law enforcement, no matter how happy we try to be, the job goes home with us. So two of my daughters were able to be here today. And Sergeant Connell, thank you for being here as my immediate supervisor. But each and every one of us work very hard at our department, and I'm privileged to be part of that. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'm going to try not to get the hook. So the SRO, SRD of the Year nominees, we've had a number of nominees for all these positions, and as you can see up on the monitor, there's a list of the individuals that on a daily basis go out and help keep our schools and our campuses safe. So the SRO of the Year, Grace Albritton, would you please come up from Gibbs High School? Right there with me. Okay. Grace Albritton has been an SRO at Gibbs High School for 7 years and has become an integral part of the educational experience of our students. Her greatest attribute is her ability to connect with her students on a level very few can. Officer Albritton challenges her students to get involved, even if it is outside their area of comfort, and she also encourages them to do their best. A graduate of Gibbs High School and a former University of South Florida cheerleader, Tampa Bay Storm cheerleader, and a former Tampa Bay Buccaneer cheerleader. Tampa? Hey. Okay, all right. She speaks with her students from a position of experience. She has been observed encouraging her students to pursue their dreams and be willing to work hard at it. Through her daily conversations, she's learned many of her students had never gone fishing. Not being a fan of baiting a hook or physically touching live bait in general, Officer Albritton formed the first ever Gibbs High School fishing team. In the process, she exposed her students to an activity many would not have engaged in and challenged herself to face touching live bait, like she challenges her students to deal with the rigors of learning. What is more, Aside from her duties of keeping the staff and students at Gibbs High safe and to address any instances of crime, she understands the culture of her school. She noticed that there were several students wearing the same torn or disheveled clothing. She also knows they did not have regular school supplies. After having identified some of her students as being homeless, Officer Albritton was able to gain access to a closet in which she began to bring clothing and personal hygiene items. She offered to the students the ability to visit the closet and take whatever they needed. This closet has morphed into what is now known as the Gibbs Grab and Go and occupies a full classroom. The Grab and Go also has outfits and dresses for prom and other events which some students would not normally have access to. These are just a couple of examples of what has separated Officer Albritton from other school resource officers and deputies over the last year. Although the selection was to settle on one officer or deputy for this award was a difficult one, Grace Albritton actually made it easier. Because of her commitment to the Gibbs High family, her calling to answer the responsibility and opportunity to help others, and the integrity she displays in all she does, Grace Albritton is Pinellas County Schools Resource Officer of the Year. But wait, there is more. Because my peers and law enforcement colleagues understand positive relationship building and good police work, Grace Albritton has also been named the 2021-2022 Tampa Bay Area Association of Chiefs of Police School Resource Officer of the Year for the Tampa Bay region. I do not know about you, but I am looking for the trifecta with the hope her good works will be recognized as the best in the state of Florida. Please join me in congratulating Grace Albritton, Gibbs High School, St. Petersburg Police Department, for her great work she has done and continues to do with Gibbs High School. Congratulations. All right. Have a few things for Grace. What we've started is giving the Officer of the Year award pin that she can display on a uniform, and it becomes a topic of conversation she can have with her students. We also have the plaque that she received for being Officer of the Year. And we also have an acknowledgement of your nomination from Superintendent Kevin Hendrick. So congratulations. All right. All right. Thank you. I heard you didn't want to say anything. Is that true? Okay, all right.
Normally, I don't like to speak in front of people, but this is a special moment for me. I just wanted to thank Chief Williams, but I also would like to thank Sergeant Hawkins, because he's the reason why I became a police officer, and he's the reason why I wanted to become an SRO. He was my SRO at Gibbs High School. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay. I'm going to speed up because I know that standing up here is not going to be easy. So the SSO Guardian of the Year, Mr. Archange Paul Lavelle. Would you please come forward, please? SSO Lavelle is at Bay Point Elementary School and is being named the 2021-2022 SSO of the Year. Also, Paul, as he's known affectionately by the students and staff at Bay Point, has become an integral part of the staff. His priority is to ensure the safety of the students and staff and does so in a respectful manner. He is connected to the school, but not so much so that he does not lose sight of his main purpose of being there. Officer Lavelle has described as being patient, kind, a good listener, and always doing everything he can to support Bay Point scholars. He gives his personal time to support the 5,000 Role Models of Excellence program, but never allows this mentoring relationship building efforts to interfere with his primary role of security of the campus. Officer Lavelle interactions assist the district in building respectful and caring relationships with all he comes in contact with, but don't take my word for it. Listen to what the students he is there to protect has to say. He is a person who has inspired me. He is caring, kind. He's a good person. He respects us, and we respect him. I think of him as an older brother. He's a nice guy. He doesn't let anyone do anything bad to hurt themselves. He protects us. He helps us, and if he sees someone who is down and sad, he will walk over to them and help them out. When I leave this school, I hope I see him again. He has helped me get better at asking my teacher for help and opening up more in general. He gave me a notebook so I could take notes to help me remember things he's taught me. I would like to have him as a mentor in the 6th grade if I can. These comments were all by 5th grade students. I am proud of the impact that Officer Lavelle has made at Bay Point. When we look at the school safety officers, we're not looking for a person to fill a uniform. We're looking for a person who can keep our students safe and in the process be a positive role model and assist in building character and positive relationships in the process. And Officer Lavelle has done that. So congratulations. Thank you so much. Thank you. And if I can get Mr. Marvin Jefferson to join us, please. Marvin Jefferson. Thank you. All right. Right now, it's my pleasure to introduce the Jesse Dorsey Award. Jesse Dorsey was our first ever campus activity monitor, and he was hired in Pinellas County School District in August of 1995, and he's there for until May 19th. Of 2019. The work ethic he displayed and the role he played in building relationships with the students and staff at Northeast High School for over 24 years was the impetus for the 44 monitors we now have serving the district countywide. Mr. Dorsey has set the standard in which all past and future campus activity monitors are measured. Prior to joining the district, he was a running back in the state of Georgia and still holds the White County High School record for rushing yards with over 6,683 yards rushing. He is known for traversing the Northeast campus on his golf cart. Mr. Dorsey found a balance between being a member of the school administrative team and garnering the respect and trust of the students and staff. He is a humble, non-assuming individual, and in spite of his accomplishments, he treated all he came in contact with respect and care. Last year, the campus activity monitor's position became under the auspices of schools police. And as we endeavor to recognize all our team members, who better to name this award after than Mr. Jesse Dorsey? So it's with pleasure I announce the Campus Activity Monitor of the Year Award will now, from this moment forward, be known as the Jesse Dorsey Campus Activity Monitor of the Year Award. Mr. Dorsey has recently faced some health challenges and recently moved back to the state of Georgia and is unable to join us tonight. But joining me to accept the plaque commemorating the naming of this award is Area Manager Marvin Jefferson, a very close friend of Mr. Dorsey, and he has assured me that he will make sure that Mr. Dorsey receives this plaque and understands how much he has meant to the district and how much we appreciated his service. All right, there you go. Okay, Mrs. Laura McIntosh Robinson, please join me here, please. Mrs. Robinson is joined by her husband, Mr. Robinson, but I can tell you at Osceola Middle School, she's known as Ms. Mack, which is your maiden name. So, of course, Mrs. Mack has consistently demonstrated the high levels of professionalism, great character, sound decision-making, and customer service to the students, staff, and parents at Osceola Middle School. She takes a student-first approach and says it has been described as having an impeccable leadership style. She has been described as a vessel of support, a shoulder to cry on, and one who has demonstrated the ability to inspire individuals who may be feeling down. Ms. Mack is patient and understanding, but firm in her approach and keeping her campus safe. Former Principal Solomon Lowry describes her as the spirit of Osceola Middle School, and her presence is felt and appreciated by current and former students alike, as she is very involved with providing before and after school care and activities through the YMCA. Mrs. Mack sponsors clubs, coaches basketball, and provides tutoring assistance in addition to providing clothing and other vital supplies to help our students feel physically and emotionally safe. Mrs. Mack's rapport with the Osceola student body is such that if an incident happens on campus, Ms. Mack will be informed of it by the students. It is rumored that she can get information even when the principal is unable to do so. Mrs. Lowry says Mr. Dr. Lowry says that if it were rumored to have happened on campus and someone has not told Mrs. Mack about it, it did not happen. Her level of trust with the students is at a level unimaginable in some situations, but her connection with her students run deep and allows her to keep them safe, build relationships, and assist the administration in a very effective manner. So please join me in congratulating Laura McIntosh, Mrs. Mack Robinson, as the inaugural Jesse Dorsey Campus Activity Monitor of the Year Award recipient. Okay. K-9 Officer Rue, can you please come forward? K-9 Officer Rue. Good girl, good girl. Okay, K-9 Rue recently retired after 9 years of service to the students and staffs of Pinellas County Schools. A trained gun detection dog, Rue is best known for working with her human partner, SRO Dave Harrison, as you see, who's formed the Reading with Rue program. In this program, Rue visited classes and would join students in their reading circles. Rue would intently sit and listen as students read to her and the group. Her patience and non-judgmental gaze encouraged students with reading deficiencies to relax and improve their reading skills. Her attentive demeanor encouraged and assisted students with their reading proficiency. Her services were sought throughout the district. Rue has had some recent health concerns and will now be civilian K-9 Rue, and will undoubtedly make a few appearances with her students after retirement as a district volunteer, we hope. Absolutely. Thanks to Officer Harrison and Rue for keeping our students and facilities safe, as they put it, one sniff at a time. Congratulations. Thank you. Good job, Rue. Rue gets this too. Okay, she gets the fight. There you go, girl. Thank you so much. All right. Congratulations. Hang on. And while they're doing that, I know Officer Chris Ladd is in the back. He was instrumental in St. Petersburg with locating our gun detection dogs. Officer Ladd, thank you for what you've done as well. Thank you. We started to invite some cats and dogs to this, but we figured that wouldn't go over too well. All right. So my apologies for taking so long, but I think that if we can take a minute to recognize the good job that these men and women do, I really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Williams, and thank you to all those recognized and all those who were nominated. And the board will come back up and we'll continue with the meeting. Thank you.
Still too long. I think my knee's gonna go out underneath me. Mm-hmm. So nice. Okay. Members of the public have 3 separate opportunities to address the board when we gather for a business meeting. The first is public comment on agenda items. The second is at a public hearing, most of which are policies. The last is after our meeting, when speakers may address the general business of the district. At each opportunity for public input, board members are here to listen to you. This is not a time for us to discuss or debate. However, the board and the superintendent may clarify statements or refer the speaker to the proper staff person to help them work through any concerns. The board is committed to a standard of civility and decorum in conducting our meetings. We appreciate you assisting us in maintaining a civil and constructive environment. So with that, do we have any speakers?
Yes, Madam Chair, board members, and Mr. Hendrick, we have 2 speakers for agenda items this evening. The first is Mark Clutho. He is speaking to items 7.11, 7.12, and 8.2. And then Daniel Amend, who is speaking to item 8.1.
Mark Clutho, Largo, 711. An agreement with engineering for design and construction for chiller replacement for Pinellas Park High, $75,000. But the real cost for the job, $1,064,725. And then you pay and pay and pay and pay. And the carbon keeps going into the atmosphere. And what does the headline say? World is heading in the wrong direction on climate change. It's called cause and effect. The building is still wrong. Doing the chiller doesn't fix it. 8.2, 5-year capital outlay plan and adoption of the tentative 5-year facilities work program. $252.3 million and $42.5 million to the debt service. Oh, now there's some money up in smoke. That's what's literally happening. Money up in smoke. You know what happened in the prior capital outlay? Largo High School. Headline reads here, Largo High School in a class of its own. Class of stupidity. Headline reads, Earth's carbon dioxide levels at the highest level in 4 million years. And you don't deviate at all to get off of that path with your plan. Not one iota. See, here's a template for how the building should look. Not a window on an east or west wall. You just can't get it right. There isn't any excuse, but you won't do it.
Daniel Amend.
How y'all doing? I was looking at the agenda and specifically 8.1 strategic goal number 4, provide equity and excellence of education by ensuring the needs that each and every student are known and met in order to increase performance and reduce disparity in graduation rates, proficiency scores on assessments, participation in performance and accelerated courses, disciplinary infractions, and placement in exceptional student education programs. I'm not sure how you guys are going to do that. I understand that everybody needs an equal amount of resources. I know some people need additional help and additional resources, and that's fine. But I don't know how you guys are going to implement that. It seems to me, growing up in the Pinellas County schools and having kids, discipline has gone by the wayside. No one's enforcing it. And I think that leads to a lot of these problems that I don't see these kids as being intellectually curious at all many times. And I think the discipline is lacking. I mean, I go to these open houses to two schools, one's public, one's private. And I mean, it's like a circus. And I know that's not your guys' fault. A lot of that's the parents who just let their kids do whatever the hell they want. And there's no checks there. So I honestly feel for you guys and the teachers who always, if someone comes to me and says, my kid's acting up, my question is, what did they do? It's not my kid. My kid didn't do that. Are you sure that's it? That's what I'm asking. But I think you guys got to be careful with equity. There's nothing wrong listen, I have a kid who needs a little extra help, and I have no problem with that. But doing that across the board throughout the county, I think the schools are hopefully better tailored to figure out who needs the help, how they need the help, and how best to help. So I hope you guys are factoring that in to this proposal. That's all.
Okay, that's it. Okay.
Yeah, there are no more speakers for agenda items.
Okay, so we move on to the consent. I need a motion. I need a second. Who said that? Oh, signed. Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Passes 7-0. All right. Let's go down to non-consent. 8.1, request adoption of the proposed Pinellas County School Board's 2023 legislative platform. I need a motion.
Move for approval.
Edmund, second. Second. Cook. All right. I'm going to pass this over to Ms. Kane.
All right, I want to thank the board very much for the time we spent. Oh, sorry.
There it goes. It's on. There you go.
There he goes. I'm not going to touch it. I apologize. I want to thank the board so much for the time spent in all of the wonderful suggestions that we received in putting this proposal together. I really think that we're going to have a very successful legislative delegation this year, and I'm hoping that, as we continue to meet to plan our time with legislators, it's going to go smoothly. And I think that we did include all of the additional changes that people sent. And so with that, we ask for your approval in this agenda item.
Any comments? Ms. Hine?
I would just thank Mrs. Kane for the work and leadership and putting this together and the number of times you took us through to discuss it and open and asked for input. And I appreciated the dialogue with all of our colleagues. I appreciate the focus on teachers. Shining teachers, shining students, and then certainly with the early education, and you all can look it up, but I think it's strong, I think it's tailored, and I look forward to working together to advocate for these changes with our legislators, so thank you for the work on this. It's good.
So much.
Any other comments? All right, all those in favor of the adoption of the proposed Pinellas County School Board 2023 legislative platform, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, it passes 7-0. All right, our 8.2, request approval of the proposed 5-year capital outlay plan and adoption of the tentative 5-year facilities work program for 2022, 2023 through 2026 and 2027. Do I have a motion? Mr. Dudley, do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Hine? All right, I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Hendrick.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I'm going to call on Kevin Smith, our Associate Superintendent for Finance and Business Services, to give the board and the public an overview of this item.
Thank you, Mr. Hendrick. This is our 5-year capital outlay plan and facilities work program. It is required by Florida statutes that this be approved by the board each year and updated for the 5-year period. It's developed internally by our capital outlay committee. It helps us to identify how we're going to spend our capital outlay millage proceeds, which we receive from our local 1.5 mil that we levy locally over the next 5 years. Remember, the major projects included in this plan were already approved by the by the board with our budget back on September 13th. We cannot submit this plan, or we cannot even do this plan until the state opens up its website for our access, and that occurred back in the early part of October, which is why we're bringing it to you today. So if there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Are there any board comments? All right. Well, then we will move to a vote. All those that request the approval of the proposed 5-year capital outlay plan and adoption of the tentative 5-year facilities work program, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, 7-0. All right, items introduced by the superintendent. Mr. Hendrick?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to start by acknowledging the passing of Gus Stavros, a giant in education in Pinellas County Schools and the benefactor and namer of the Stavros Institute of Pinellas Education Foundation. He was the inventor and supporter of the Pinellas Education Foundation from its onset, behind Enterprise Village and Finance Park, which all of our students for the last 25 years have attended and remember. There'll be a celebration of life for the public on February 1st at the Stavros Center, and we invite the public to join us. Earlier today, I visited the Pinellas County Board of County Commissioners, one of their meetings, for a presentation on the school board. I want to thank Mrs. Hine for joining with me and giving them an update on the operations of the school district. Thank them for their partnership during the operations portion of Hurricane Ian, and also supporting the district in a number of measures, especially allowing us to accelerate our PCS Connects one-to-one initiative by helping to start the funding for that initiative. I want to thank our mental health coordinator, Donna Sicilian, and our school safety specialist, Dennis Russo. They hosted every district's mental health and school safety officer at the first of its kind convening for both groups to get together. This was at St. Petersburg College last week. Sheriff Gualtieri was the keynote speaker. We were happy to host it. I was pleased to attend with them, and I want to thank them for their leadership in sharing those best practices and keeping our students safe physically and mentally. I want to thank Helios Education Foundation, the Pinellas Education Foundation, for highlighting Pinellas County in the National Grant Makers for Education Conference that was last week, and thank them for their continued support of partnership. And also last week was the Council of Great City Schools annual meeting. Thank you, Mrs. Cook, for attending on behalf of the district with a number of district staff who made presentations and learned from others across the country. I can tell you, as having been there with Mrs. Cook on the weekend for the business meeting, the 78 largest urban districts in the country, we line up very well and are doing great things across the country and certainly here in our district. Last week also, the State Board of Education met. I want to thank Tyrone Middle School Principal Burris and our Chief Turnaround Transformation Zone Officer Danica Jones for their presentation of Tyrone's turnaround plan. It was approved by the State Board. But the State Board also announced 21 Pinellas County schools as schools of excellence that finished in the top 80th percentile in school grades for their particular school grade category. And I want to name these 21 schools because I think anytime you earn an A is impressive, but when you are the top of the top, it's even more impressive. And to have 21 of those schools in our district is a great kudos to all of our principals and students in those schools. And so the elementary schools, Anona, Bowder, Bay Vista Fundamental, Brooker Creek, Curlew Creek, Curtis Fundamental, Cypress Woods, Gulf Beaches, Oldsmar, Orange Grove, Pasadena Fundamental, Sunset Hills, Sutherland, and Tarpon Springs Fundamental. 2 middle schools, Clearwater Fundamental and Eastlake Academy of Engineering. High school, Eastlake, Osceola Fundamental, Palm Harbor University, and St. Petersburg, and 1K8 Madeira Beach Fundamental. So congratulations to all of those schools on a job well done. And speaking of congratulations, last week we honored 86 members with certificates of distinction in our annual recognition for those support staff members who have gone above and beyond for training and earning those certificates of distinction. They did a great job in their projects and everything, and I want to thank them. And that leads us to our support employees of the year. We recently named our semifinalist, and we will soon be naming the finalist. And some surprise announcements coming to a school near you soon. We had 143 nominees, chose 18 semifinalists, and we're excited to recognize them at a ceremony on December 2nd. We also had some teachers recognized recently by the Florida Council of Social Studies. Mark Thomas, a teacher at Pinellas Park Middle School, was named the Pinellas County Social Studies Teacher of the Year. And Tracy Newman, a 612 Literacy and Social Studies staff developer position that's funded by our referendum, won the Doyle Castile Outstanding Leadership Award across the state. Congratulations to Mark and to Tracy. We recently have held 2 of our 3 district application program fairs. The North County one was held at Dunedin High School last week with over 2,300 attendees to learn about our over 80 district application programs. Last weekend on Saturday at Largo High School, we had over 3,200 individuals attend our all-county session, and this week on Thursday night at Boca Ciega High School, we'll have our South County District Application Fair program. You can find out more about all of the programs, and those are just the start then of individual school open houses, student shadowing, and opportunities for parents and the public and students to engage with each individual program. A reminder to our students, Walker's Rising Stars is coming up, and the deadline to apply is October 28th. It's a casting call for students to compete for scholarships in artists, musicians, singers, dancers, actors, and culinary competitions. You'll find more information on our website. And report cards, speaking of students, go home in just 2 days on October 27th from the first quarter. And of course, we're well into the second quarter. A quick bargaining update. We did settle our bargaining with our Fraternal Order of Police, and they are out for ratification, and we continue to meet with PCTA. We have some folks here tonight. We're excited about the progress that we're making there on salaries and on some of the language, and we hope to have a resolution very, very soon, but we're making a lot of progress with PCTA. And finally, the superintendent standout tonight. I want to acknowledge one of our teachers tonight, Mrs. Mary Favorite, a 5th grade teacher at 74th Street Elementary School, who was nominated by Principal Kristen Koo for her commitment to children, families, and the community. Mrs. Favorite organized a field trip to Tampa Bay Watch for all of her 5th grade students and connected it to the sea life and habitat experiences that are in the curriculum. She went out of her way to make sure that every single student, regardless of if they were able to pay or not, could attend by doing fundraisers and reaching out to staff members and other families to support the students. Mrs. Favorite came in on a Saturday over the hurricane break for families to come in and sign permission slips because they lost some time that week, and she made sure that everything was done correctly. I want to thank her for emphasizing that student experience for our students. Field trips are an important part of that, and Mrs. Favorite went above and beyond and is this week's superintendent standout. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Items introduced by the school board attorney.
Madam Chair, I have no report this evening. Thank you.
All right. Items introduced by the board. Dr. Carr.
Thank you. I want to also acknowledge some events that took place over the weekend. I know we had some of our sports, our fall sports, are coming to a close. So there were numerous events and activities this past weekend. On Friday evening, I think we had some bowling taking place. I know Saturday was district swimming, and many of our football teams are rounding up the season. So I want to acknowledge all of the coaches and volunteers who put in so much time. We've heard so much about the mental health crisis in our nation for our youth and the important role that sports and extracurricular activities plays in addressing the need to fit in. So thank you to all of those volunteers, parents who we're so happy that you're back and volunteering in our schools and working with the teams and working with other programs. I know our All County is coming up, so our All County for our musical individuals, our students who are involved in the bands and choral productions. So thank you to all of the folks who are engaged and participating in that. And I am grateful also for our new GoFan opportunity for folks to purchase their tickets online in advance, make it easier. You can get a whole year worth of tickets in one purchase. So thank you to all those volunteers who help families navigate that GoFan at the ticket entrance as well. So appreciate you and all your time. And that's all I have for my report.
Mrs. Cook.
Thank you. We have been doing workshops for so long in this district that we as board members have come to take it for granted. And I think it's important that we take a moment to thank staff and the superintendent for providing the information and taking the time at the workshop. For example, we voted on the 5-year plan. Well, we've talked about that because Mr. Smith brought it to the workshop. It helps our meetings be more efficient, but it also gives us a chance to really ask the questions and get the information and knowledge that we need. So I want to thank staff and Mr. Hendrick for having those workshops to prepare us for our meetings, as well as to inform us about other things that are going on in the district. And it also gives the board an opportunity to bring things forward that are of interest or concern or ways of making this district better. So thank you, and thank everybody for taking the time, because it does take them away from their day-to-day work, and we really do not want to take that for granted at all. I also want to brag for a moment on some of our staff that presented at the Council of Great City Schools. We had Ellen Truskowski and Jennifer Dahl that talked about public choice, and it's the best choice, and how do you market that? This is an opportunity for us to share with every other large urban district the things that we're doing in Pinellas County that will help possibly so that they could steal some of the good ideas, or to just be able to brag and say, here's what we're doing, and share that. They did an excellent job. We also had Kelly Austin, who is the principal at Sandy Lane. I almost said the wrong school, and that would be bad. So Kelly Austin and Stephanie Woodford that shared how Lakewood Elementary turned around and what that transformation process was. And I know that was a really big hit, because there are a lot of schools throughout the country that are finding that they need every tool that they can put together and every idea in order to help their schools and their students perform better. And then Jennifer Dahl and Mr. Hendrick also presented in another workshop about the philanthropic partnerships that we have and how important that has been in closing our achievement gaps and just accelerating student achievement. So they all did a very good job, but more importantly, they were very well received by the people in the audience. When I left one of the workshops, I was going to say, good job. They were surrounded by people asking questions and wanting to know more about it. So I just kind of walked out and said, good job. So our opportunity to share the good things that are going on in Pinellas County was very important, but also to be able to bring back some ideas too. It was very worthwhile. So thank you all for participating and doing such a good job representing Pinellas County Schools.
Any other board members? Okay. So at this time, Dr. Corbett, were there any board requests?
No, Madam Chair, there were none tonight.
All right. So I am going to adjourn the business part of this meeting, and then we will go into public comments, and then we'll come back and do our board evaluation. I call this meeting of the Pinellas County School Board this October 25th, 2022 to a closure. Thank you. All right.